Alright, so it's been a long, and I mean long ass time since the last murder drones video on the channel. But to compensate, here's something big I've been cooking up for ya. Something I've noticed a lot about murder drones and its community is that while the series has a shit ton of background characters with their own little quirks and charm, for the most part they are often ignored in favor for glazing the main cast. But I'll not allow that any longer, for why now I will be doing a series going into autistic detail documenting and discussing the various glup shittos across all 8 episodes of Murder Drones. For starters, we've got to first establish what I call a minor background character. Basically this accounts for anyone who has a combination of low plot relevance, recognizability and low amount of screen time. While I might stretch these definitions, I'll try to stay relatively consistent. In short, no Uzi, no N, no VJ Sin Khan nor Idol Tessa Absolute Solver Thad Lizzie and no Lord from Flabucket. To distinguish varying levels of character obscurity, for each character an icon will show up ranking them, starting from somewhat known, to glup shitto and finally literally who. In terms of characters who appear only on screen as deceased, some will be skipped out on. Things like the drones that compose the murder drones corpse spires and some, but not all, of the human skeletons will be ignored. Also, if the character purely exists as scene filler and there is literally nothing of note to talk about them, such as with these peeps that appeared in N and Uzi's first team up fight, they'll also be skipped. Without further ado, let's get into our first episode, the pilot. Starting off are the default uniform worker drones. Default worker drones are a collection of particular traits that unify a large group of worker drones in the series, making identification between individuals impossible. Those traits include blue eyes, dark green hard hats of a grayish tinge, black boots and yellow coats. You might think these were the only worker drones on Copper 9's surface pre-collapse, but as shown in a photograph Khan gives to his daughter Uzi in Cabin Fever, he looked exactly the same back then as he did now, indicating either whoever owned Khan at that time personally customized him. Khan himself had a limited amount of freedom during this time and was allowed to customize himself, or Khan's clothing denotes a certain rank or role in J.C. Jensen. And some drones were more valuable than others, not to just put in the default coat. While initially only seen in a flashback sequence while Uzi gives a presentation about how humans enslaved workers, we see they are still around today and even appear as a background extra. Given context clues, this makes me believe some workers never changed clothes after gaining freedom, or they gave their old clothes to their children in the forms of hand-me-downs. Rodney Copper Bottom looking ass. The pilot humans. A title I give to them due to this episode showing a type of hazmat suit exclusive to this episode, that being a white suit with blue gloves and yellow boots. Nothing much is to say about them since they don't even speak, but something of interest is that when the planet is about to explode and we see 2 of the J.C. Jensen employees staring at each other, they both give out a shrug. Later in episode 7 we see another employee of the company, Mitchell, give out this exact same pose when taking Yeva to the Cabin Fever Cathedral. Possibly these 3 humans could all be brothers and this is just something they share out of habit. But more likely this is just because the humans are irresponsible when it comes to dealing with the dangers of the solver and just shrug out of a lack of responsibility. The pilot family, I name such for being the only episode they appear in. They are shown when first introducing the concept of worker drone reproduction. Interestingly, both mother and father are dressed in stereotypical attire associated with traditional Western norms of the nuclear family, suggesting right from the start of drone society independent of humans, they immediately saw heterosexuality as the norm. Based. Something to note about their baby, which is seemingly thrown away once they are being attacked, is that it has blue eyes. While not much evidence is really provided, I like to believe this baby and the pilot is one and the same as Bo. The child Alice is seen possibly adopting in episode 6. I won't get into it now, but when I talk about that episode in a later part I'll give more reasoning to my theory then. While there is very little in terms of female background characters in the pilot, one thing you'll notice is that there are often multiple preset hair models reused across multiple minor cast members in the series. For example, the pilot mom has a type of hairstyle shared with this and named Maid in episode 5 Home. While this is possibly not all of them, for future reference, these are the nicknames I'll give to these particular hairstyles you'll commonly see in further episodes. The Mom cut, the Emily pigtails, the Kelsey cut, and finally the Amber cut. The teacher, probably one of the most recognizable non-lore relevant side characters of the series, is voiced by Liam Vickers, the A10 Hyperborean Bull himself. One thing consistent about him is that he hates his job and seemingly just exists to suffer, even though he is probably one of the worker drones who'd actually yearn for the sweet release of death. It never comes, not through some supernatural power, but more like the universe itself just hates him. He is seemingly outright ignored by V and J during their assault on Outpost 3, is inexplicably unscathed when Doll attacks the prom, completely absent during Uzi's rampage on Camp 98.7, and when spotted by the Absolute Solver itself during the final episode gets nothing but a mere slap by its tentacles before being spared. Something is just so funny that the creator of the show himself would cast himself as such an unassuming joke character. It's kinda hilarious. Man had the power to make himself the voice of N and just chose to become the MD Universe's punching bag. Absolute Jedgerald. Funny thing to note is that in the promenade, when Lizzie demands her fellow students to forgive V for her vicious slaughtering of workers, she threatens that she'll ask her dad to dock their grades if they do not comply.
So forgive and forget, or I'll get my dad to dock your frickin' grades!
Suggesting that the teacher is Lizzie's father, it could be possible that she was bluffing to get the people who looked up to her into complying, or she was referring to one of many off-screen worker drone teachers we've never seen. But because the teacher's only known name seems to be in fact teacher, this suggests he's literally the only person in the Outposts colony taking on this job. No wonder he's so miserable. Riley, a student of the teacher, is also voiced by main man Liam Vickers, all for the one line he actually has.
So got the vibe!
He is the second character just behind Uzi to speak on screen. And while he isn't seen again alive, his body is seen decapitated and dragged along by Jay when her and V are approaching Khan and the cornered worker drones. This probably makes Riley the only named character Jay has been confirmed to actually kill, as it's only inferred she killed Tessa in the Elliot manor before being resurrected as a skin suit. Her only other known kill is shared with V and is on an unnamed human on Earth. Eldritch J does not count as that's the Solver in control. Chat is the second character to ever get a name drop besides Uzi herself. He is heard laughing with a thick Australian accent and saying alright.
Classic toxic masculinity, Chad.
Right as Thad is walking into the infirmary, Thad calls him out for saying something that was, I quote, toxic masculinity. Despite this going by Thad's chill tone, this doesn't seem to stop them from being friends. He could possibly be Thad's brother, due to the similar naming convention, but other than most likely being another student, that is blind speculation. Funny coincidence is that one of Gumagoo's brothers in the Amazing Digital Circus is also named Chad. Guess he managed to escape the simulation and hop into the TARDIS from Doctor Who while he was at it. At the entrance to the Outpost 3 bunker are 4 worker defense force members, supposedly there to maintain the door's structural stability and defend against murder drones who attempt to break in, albeit with zero attempt to actually defend. The Outpost 03-02 terminal is first seen when Uzi attempts to leave the aforementioned post before being caught by Khan. Now you may be wondering, why on the absolute HE double hockey sticks did I put this down as a character? Well, as Uzi is later seen in the episode rushing back inside while urgently trying to shut the door behind her. The terminal is shown to actually possess a mind of its own and is aware of Uzi's current emotional state by calling her out for being sassy. The terminal's fate after being injected with N's nanite acid is unclear, as while being afflicted with such attack would kill a worker drone if left untreated. The Outpost 3 terminal is not a worker drone.
Wow. I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time.
In the next episode, Heartbeat, we seen the door mechanism to Outpost 3's entrance is back in operation. So either during the repairs the original AI was resurrected, or replaced with a new consciousness entirely. Todd is the drone with the blackish grey hard hat, voiced by heckin' valid trans woman of Ron, and Lord Frumplebucket fame Jasmine Yang, who also wrote for SMG4 and Me to Runner, but who cares about that? Todd. being the only one of the group who didn't run for his life when confronted with N and instead correcting him for calling the card game of gin rummy, regular old rummy, albeit not intentional, was possibly a catalyst for the rest of the events that take place in the show. As the brief moment N had to savor his first kill created a distance far enough for Uzi to just barely survive with only a non-fatal wound inflicted by N. In an alternate timeline where he just ran with the others, Uzi might have actually been blown to pieces and never got to redeem N and V, defeats N and save Copper 9 from its annihilation. A named worker defense force member, like his lack of a name suggests, is the only one of the four to not have his name officially revealed. He is voiced by guest star Jack Harrod. Jack was also an additional crew member on the show The Jim Jeffries Show and the film Where's the Money, meaning this guy has a tangential connection to Brad Pitt, Seth Rogen and Logan Paul.
I really hate to say this. I think there's someone hanging right now.
Waiting till my loving wife and kids hear about this.
He is the only one in the group to have green eyes instead of cyan and has the darkest shade of black for his helmet. He states he has a loving wife and kids, with kids being plural, meaning he is the only confirmed example of a worker drone with more than one child. Good to know Copper 9 hasn't immediately been thrown under the rule of Chinese dictator Xi Jinping. Braxton is the member with the second darkest hard hat of the group, just a little less dark than a named worker defense force member's hard hat. He is the one seen running alongside Uzi whilst being chased by N and tries to introduce himself to her before being sliced in half by N's beam laser. Thinks. Braxton is voiced by Kevin Ledwichigal, co-founder and chief executive officer of Glitch Productions along with Luke Ledwichigal. Markov is the final member of the squad bearing the lightest shade of grey hard hat, and being the only one with a mustache. It is possible that he is named after the semi-automatic pistol of the same name, akin to how Uzi Dorman is also named after a firearm. Markov isn't actually seen dying on screen, due to an animation error when he moves off screen during the chase with N. The subsequent shot has him switch places with Braxton, meaning our memorable and beloved Brax died twice so this much elder gentleman can survive. Maybe the WDF aren't as bad as they seem. And finally, for the last obscure background character of the Murder Drones pilot, is Grant. Grant is a male worker seen in a flashback of N's when he was first introducing V to Z. Grant begs V not to feed him his own entrails in front of his family. Interestingly, there is a seeming disconnect from what he is describing and what we can actually see. All 6 of the dead worker drones surrounding him are bald, nude, wear black helmets as opposed to his brown helmet, and all appear to be of similar or equal height, making who's the wife and children extremely unclear, if those are even children. Despite these family members already being deceased, Grant's plea suggests he doesn't want his own gory death to be seen in front of them and cause possible traumatization. Yet with this visual inconsistency, by listening to the background audio, would help with the video's official subtitles, you can hear a collection of voices seemingly reacting to what is happening to Grant off screen. With one voice being that of a young female calling out to his dad.
Eating my own eggshells in front of my family!
My personal theory is that the bodies surrounding Grant are of strangers or his co-workers for whatever job he was holding at the time, and V intentionally let his family escape after witnessing his brutal execution. This is why I absolutely hate this freaking disgusting oil-chugging obsessed foodist-jarty cuckfoid, but the show wants us to care about the turmoil she goes through, yet she has no issue with murdering innocent people just trying to live their lives, even after Sin's defeat, when there would seemingly be nothing stopping her from just asking some workers for a big ass jug full of oil to drink from. This is why Jay is the superior woman, well dressed, insanely adorable, polite, and who is totally in a relationship with Tessa's dad as we speak. Grant is voiced by Luke Ledwichigal, the brother of the previously mentioned Kevin Ledwichigal, and is also a co-founder of Glitch Productions alongside being its chief content officer. Luke also voiced Braden's identical twin who appeared exclusively in the Murder Drone episode 4, Cabin Fever. Delisted teaser trailer video, Cabin Fever 13.3071.mov, and that is about everyone accounted for. Writing the script for this was surprisingly longer than I was expecting. I hope you enjoyed the video. I have no exact dates for when I'll release the videos regarding the later episodes, as I want to work on things at my own pace. I don't care if you like or subscribed. Please just share this video, as the one thing I enjoy about YouTube is reading what you have to say in the comments. See you next time, and remember, Jesus Christ is the one true God.
Oh my god, what is it?
It's pee.
What?
It's pee.
Are you serious?
It's pee.